and Katrina, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because
oh amazing.
because Joshua and Katrina came up, I figured,
Yeah.
I just felt like
Me and I are
I
soul
wanted to bring.
family.
I know.
Yeah.
I miss her. I mean, we had our
Yeah.
differences at times because you talked about
Mm.
how sometimes you have to be away from people to activate and clear things because
Yeah.
she had a lot of stuff going. Oh, meeting is being live streamed. Okay, hit okay. I guess we're ready.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, welcome, welcome. So I'm going to do your bio. I'm going to check that we're live on YouTube so I can get the chat up on my laptop, and hopefully people will join us soon. So my fantastic guest today is Missy Hill, and I've been waiting for you to reach out, to be honest. I really have. So exciting. So Missy Hill is a paranormal researcher, grid worker, and intuitive investigator who explores the hidden energetic systems of the earth. Her work focuses on ley lines, frequency patterns, and unseen forces influencing both natural phenomena and global events. By combining observation, research, and intuitive insight, Missy connects high strangeness activities such as UFO sightings, atmospheric anomalies, and spiritual phenomena to a larger energetic framework. Her approach challenges conventional thinking, encouraging audiences to question reality and recognize deeper patterns at play. And your YouTube is Missy Hill Galactic Earth Fusion. So I'm going to try and get you some followers on that today, which would be great. So thank you, Missy. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, and I need to upload stuff to my thing. I'm just not great technology because when I lost my channel, I mean, I was on Blog Talk Radio, and all that stuff went away. So I have had so many interviews, and a lot of interviews with people that are deceased, like people like Tim Beckley and Franco Di Nicola. I mean, so many people that have just passed and can't get
Mm,
those again. So. I
yeah.
think Rob even said he was on there for a while, but I just want to disclose that today is raw, unfiltered,
Yeah.
uncensored, unrehearsed, and I'm going to give a disclaimer that is some of this stuff the fabrications of my own mind. I mean, this is a theoretical practice, theoretical discussion for entertainment and educational purposes only. Anything I share, it's not to diagnose or treat any affliction at all. So with that, we'll
Wow.
have a great time.
That's a great disclaimer before we start. Yeah, so we're not really sure which way this is going to go today, but we're definitely going to
Exactly.
drop
Yeah.
some information that we've not shared before, which is awesome. We've got James Whitkiss in the chat, so welcome, James. Thank you for joining us. So where would you like to start? Do you want to go back to childhood, or what would you like to start with?
I think I want to start with what comes to me is I had a dream the other night, and that's why I figured I needed to disclose this. We've been sleeping in our RV, we've been camping out, and part of the reason that I felt I needed to camp out in the RV is first of all, our AC had problems, and then our refrigerator had problems. So this is the perfect time because my kitty cat, Soda, who was over the road as a truck driver with me, Soda Pop, and Arthur, if you know Arthur, the orange tabby, he's like the masculine version of her that came through and has the Thor and the King Arthur codes. So when she passed, it was actually in the RV and it was at Lake Jocassee, and it was so traumatic that 2019 started a spiral of all kinds of wrongness for me personally. So even before that, I had gone dark. I had actually gone dark when I did a show with Og Telez. I mean, there was so much interference, and I was so afraid to get some of my personal SSP stuff out. Then, if you want to call it that, if you want to call it the secret space program or the secret non-space program, that the fact that maybe there is no space at all, and we have it's an interdimensional game that's going on. So it's not a light years away, it's interdimensional is what I feel. But when I had this dream the other night, it was so weird because I love my flying dreams. I have a lot of dreams where I fly and I hover, and I know I do this as some kind of battle thing, something that would be like in a Marvel Comics or DC. But when I'm not doing it, I do it just for fun. And see, the thing is, sometimes like in the Carlos Castaneda books, if you ever read any Carlos Castaneda, one of the things he said is to look at your hands and your feet and things like that, and know that you're dreaming. And I knew that I had gone from one dream to another dream to another dream. And it was so not feeling like a dream, because when you can smell and you can taste and you can touch things and feel, it feels like something other than just a dream. And I've compared dreams to Inception, the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio on Rob's show. I brought up this many times where I actually feel there is a dream state that might be created by, we're not sure who, maybe some of those three-letter agencies. Also, is the fact that we are watching that tell lie vision and have watched it and been programmed with it for years. Is that part of what puts in the SSP stuff? Because a lot of it is not, it's not 3D, and it's interdimensional, which means it's astral, which means it's things that we don't understand, that affects our emotional bodies, it affects our mental bodies and other parts of awarenesses that we don't have an understanding of in this alter personality front person that we are, right? Because we are holographic in nature, and because of what's happened on this planet, or should I say in this galaxy, because I feel Procyon, the Milky Way, is a fallen galaxy that we're in. We fell out of M31 Andromeda, that this whole thing is fractalized. And that's part of why we see things outside of ourselves. I remember one time Linda Moulton Howe said, and I've said this before because I love this description, there's not a flat earth theory, but a flat universe theory. And I compare it to like when I was a kid. You remember the pop-up book? The book is flat, and when you open the book, it comes to life with all this multidimensional stuff. What if we are in something like that? So in this dream, when I had this dream, I felt like I had been in another dream similar to what is like the upside down in Strange Things, but not exactly the upside down, because it's dark, but subtly dark. There was another movie about an upside down mirror world. So I had come out of this world, and then I was flying around, and a lot of times I dream about the house that I grew up in as a child, because I did live in Florida for quite a while. And that house is actually not there anymore. It's weird that they tore it down. It's on the Intercoastal Waterway, but I think it left such a mark on the astral, it had to be torn down. But this was an industrialized version of that. And in that dream, it was so disturbing because it felt like my parents were like my handlers in the dream, and like we were all cloned, like that, like I don't know which DNA cloned what. If people have seen, you've made references to Orphan Black and Orphan Black Echoes, and then there was even a movie with Will Smith that takes place in the Low Country, which where I happen to be, not far from Charleston as a crow flies, which is where the first shots of the Civil War were fired, which is Stargate 3, where there's a lot of contention, seeds of contention in the Bermuda Triangle here. But where I actually am is Edisto Island for the next week until I go back to Western North Carolina. So when I was having this flying dream, then I had to be careful because I couldn't expose myself. I was afraid people were seeing me, and I wasn't sure if I had my cloaking device, because I had to have a cloaking device, because if I screwed up, with the Men in Black or the whatever, there was one person like walking through the woods with a suitcase in the dream. I said, this is out of place. Maybe they're just like me. They're doing their thing, and hopefully I'm not going to be seen. Well, when I woke up from this, I was so disturbed. The past few weeks, I've actually had this feeling of being so tired. My sleep, I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm up between 1 and 4 and 5. I can't go back to sleep. I feel like it's for my protection with all the entities and crap going on with this war, that sometimes I feel like I'm in a liminal space where I can't wake or sleep. I don't know which is which. Now I do, but a few days. And, I knew we were going to connect, Julia, but I didn't know how, because I couldn't find you on Facebook. I kept looking for you. I'm like, where are you? And then I found out that you had sent me a friend request, but it took a long time to find it because I typed in Anchorhaven, and then I type in Julia, and I didn't know what your real last name was, but somehow it finally
Yeah,
happened. Then
I'm
you
I'm
sent me
trying
a
to get off Facebook. I'm trying to get off it. That's why. So I defriended everybody the other day, and then the friend request I'd sent you was still active. So I go in, and you were like my only friend.
That's
So that's
so
quite funny.
bizarre.
And then then I did the show with Christy and Patty, and then they friended me, and James friended me. So I've got like 4 friends on Facebook now. But please don't friend me anybody. I'm trying to get off Facebook. It's toxic. I need to get away. So yeah, that's my. But yeah, I knew we were going to connect somehow. I wasn't sure when or how. Definitely wasn't expecting you to come and talk about SSP or other contexts of existence. So I'm super excited because I love to talk about clones and things like that. But yeah, definitely other realms of existence. James is talking about bubble realms as well. Um, but yeah, brilliant. Also, I was talking to my friend Heather, and she mentioned that she'd mentioned me to you as well. So that's great because Heather's also
That's how I knew we were going to connect, because I
yeah.
looked at these pictures and I said, I've been wanting to connect with you, but in Rob's chat, it gets confusing who's who. When people start messaging and saying hi to me, then by the time I get around to responding hi back, I don't know if the message is seen. But anyway, here I am. So where I want to go next before you start asking questions, because I wonder if what I've experienced has something to do with Mars. And the reason I say that, I've had a lot of Mars in my chart. My asteroids came up as Mars. And one time, this Indian man that did my asteroids said, you need to check out the writings of Philip K. Dick, which I did. Great things. Minority Report, Man in the High Castle. So much good information that came through Philip K. Dick, and many others, but I just can't think of the names of stuff right now. But there's a woman that I met. The name sounds like Sarah Lee, like the cake. She, I met Mary Joyce's. This was I don't remember what year. I don't know if it's 2015, 2016. I can't remember. Mary Joyce, who is from Skyships Over Cashiers, if you know that site, was putting on a talk about the Cherokee Little People and underground bases. And this is near the courthouse of Hendersonville. And this Sarah Lee lady, I'm going to just call her that, sort of sounds like that. She points at me and she goes, "You were in the Mars program." And my body instantly activated into PTSD. I literally started shaking. I did go out to lunch with her at a Whole Foods because I wanted to find out, and she's acting really strange, just talking constantly loud about Dracos and reptilians. And she was like the reptilian queen of the underworld and all this stuff. And I just couldn't do it again. I'm like, if these memories are supposed to come in, I just can't do it. It's interesting that Eve Lorgan was also there. So we had a lunch, but I'm going to go back further because there was a man that came to me that I met actually through Joshua Shapiro. My friend Joshua P. Warren had put on an investigation with some UFO crash debris. And Josh P. Warren's on Coast to Coast, if you know him. I've known him for years, from the Roswell crash. And I went to this touch this debris. Joshua Shapiro happened to be there, and some other people. Raja, Moira passed away. She claimed she was from Venus, but this was Joshua in 2009, before he met his beloved Katrina. I think it was March of 2009. Well, anyway, after that, I'm trying to think what was I. Now I just lost my train of thought about what. Oh, there was another guy there named Kevin and his wife and their autistic daughter. And he went by Captain K because he said he crashed his spaceship. And I was thinking, well, when he starts telling me this, he has to go through a dimensional shift. Is he talking about crashing it here, somewhere else? But he said to me, he said, you were my upline or above me. You were like a commander in a blue suit. Like, don't you remember who you were? And I'm like, no, I have no memory of what you're talking about at all. Like, so I've had people say these things to me, and I'm like, well, I don't know what this means. And a blue suit, I've heard of other people talk about blue suits, but I can't remember too much. I know James Rink was hoping that I would have SSP memory when he was alive, and he actually wanted to talk to my father about some things. But I don't know. One thing I can tell you this is I've had memories of flying. And this was after visiting Perry, which is the Pisgah Astronomical Research Institute in Western North Carolina, that actually does have tunnels under the ground that has like these radio telescopes. It's an outcropping of what's left over from the Cold War. And I remember after going in those tunnels, more memories of tunnels and having dreams of watching experiments like beings, different looking beings like that look like insects and things like that. Praying mantises would come to me in the physical. When I was in camping out in Hot Springs one time, this praying mantis actually got on me and like looked at me, and I felt like it was telepathically talking to me. And I said, "Oh, I get you're more than a bug." And some bugs have done that with me where I they might be as a bug, but there's something other than, and I'm not saying all praying mantises on the earth or that, but every once in a while, maybe the praying mantis beings pick, oh, this particular bug, we're going to channel through this one today to give her a message. I don't know. I've had also spiders as spies, like they're not just spiders, like they feel inorganic in a negative sort of way where they're actually spying, like they're directional beacons of wrongness. I mean, I've had that too. So, when I'm in, under the ground and witnessing this, I almost feel like what they're trying to do is, I don't know if it was being done to me. I don't know if I was having a watch with somebody else. I don't know if my consciousness was being like extracted, like maybe they're trying to extract my consciousness because of my emotion, because there's something about human emotions, so they want to see how you'll react. And a lot of these things would trigger PTSD, like waking up feeling like I'd have PTSD, feeling like I was flying a craft, and waking up feeling like, knowing I was exposed to radiation in the dream state, and waking up feeling like my whole body was covered with burns because it would hurt. Even though I'm not looking at myself being burned, I'm feeling like tender to the touch, almost like in the Matrix movie when Neo is hooked up to the thing and what he's experiencing in the VR world. It's so real that his body doesn't know the difference between what's real, like virtual reality. So he's experiencing it virtually, so his physical body is believing it happens. Maybe that's how this whole SSP thing is, because they're playing with time manipulation. I can tell you this. My father was born on the day of the Philadelphia experiment, which is August 12th, 1943. And he has memories of Montauk. I actually had memories of Montauk for him before it happened to him. And I don't know how much I want to say about that, but he did grow up on Long Island. So yeah, I think I was targeted since I was a kid with it's so weird because why? you know?
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, as you were talking and you were talking about lab stuff, and I got a flash of memory come in, and it's you in a lab coat, and but there's people there. They've got like exoskeleton like on their bottom. They've got like it's like a powered leg thing. I don't know how to describe that. So it's like we're testing out a suit, we're testing out some kind of armor, and you're in charge of that, right? That's what flashed into my mind. I've never seen you in anything before. I've never thought about it before, but that's what came in as you were talking about it. But you were definitely a person in authority because you were like ordering people around. I am a scientist in a lot of different programs. So I am on Mars and I am on the moon, but it does feel like more like Mars, like an underground. Yeah. But it's
My
more than
mother My
okay.
mother has had dreams of the lab coats, just letting you know. A lot
Yeah,
of dreams
yeah.
of lab coats.
Yeah, so I mean, I just grabbed some cards and I was just looking to see, and there's definitely like, You've definitely got Lyran connections and the Zeta Greys like me. And there's contracts come out. These are the Misha Johnson cards. So I was just thinking about, okay, what can I see? But yeah, there's definitely an aspect of you that is a scientist for sure, but it's more of an engineer, I think, than like a DNA scientist like I do a lot. There's more engineering involved. So I did a lot of chimera type stuff, so blending people and aliens together to make Krieger to make future soldiers, future warriors. But for you, I think there's more technology involved as well. So I don't know. But yeah, so I had trouble at first distinguishing between the moon and the Mars because they look very similar when you're in an underground base. They really do. And it was Christy that helped me Christy Campbell helped me make sense of what was what. But still sometimes, because I was very isolated, because I'm quite dangerous in Nakwafen, so I didn't always mix with other people. Sometimes I ran programs, like science programs, but I was isolated from everybody. So yeah, but I did get an image of you just come in then, which is quite interesting because you definitely had authority. You were telling people what to do. You're like inspecting something. You're inspecting this exosuit that they were trialing out. I'm not sure if you heard anything like that before. So sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
No. And then the thing of what you're talking about, the enhancements, I'm feeling that come in too, because part of my grid worker piece on the planet now
Yeah.
comes from this Seraphim and what they've done as far as taking genetic enhancement with the eyes. Just like I'll give an example with cats.
Yeah.
Cats are ambush predators like snakes because they have the slit eyes like this, because cats were genetically modified. The house cat, like our sweet little house cat was genetically modified. It's not like your big cat predators that have the round pupils like we do. You know what I'm saying? So so yes, they were genetically modified with snakes, and we have been genetically modified if we have the nog or the serpent races or things like this, which a lot of those races are not so nice. Our elites are mostly that. They're the nog, they're reptilian, the ones that want to control us. Now, if we have that DNA, that doesn't make us bad. Some of us here, we took that on because we are here for part of the energetic synthesis or rehabilitation process of I'll give it as an example of a perfect pH in the physical body is about like 7.2, 7.4. If it's too acidic, that's not good. It'll cause certain dis-ease situations, or if it's too alkaline, it's not good either. So it's kind of getting the emotions of these races and beings where we can cohabitate and live, be congruently aligned within ourselves with this mixed race. It's the grand experiment. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also because a lot of us are envoys or emissaries. So we need to be able to talk to all those different ET races. And some of them you need
Exactly.
to be able to get to that vibration. Otherwise you die basically trying to talk to a draconian or something like that. So you get mixed, you get hybridized with their DNA.
Exactly.
You can be in their presence without crumbling into like a human ash. I don't know.
Although some of
Have
us
you
have
had
frail nervous systems where we still have to
yeah.
be careful to be in their presence. If you have a nervous system that gets electrified very easily, like mine, so
Yeah.
they've had to splice and dice me in a way where I have a full range of low to high notes, but not everything's turned on all at once, because it can't be, because I'd blow my Kundalini circuits out. And that's
Wow.
why my path, the way it's been, as far as how I woke up, and I'm in groups for a while, and then I get out. It's like, get the codes, do the correct fire letter sequences, whatever, because originally, I mean, the original reason a lot of us here is to open those gates. We're here for the stellar activation cycle at the end, and to hold the energy so when it's time to open the gates for
Yeah.
mass evacuation, which I don't know what's happening if we're in that now. It's
Yeah.
possible that there's been all these rewrites, like I know Ashiana Dean says there's going to be, certain people say certain things are going to happen, then it goes back to the original script, because this is all script. I mean, with this Armageddon stuff, it's like, it's pretty scripted is what it feels like to me. All the world's a stage. it's not just the world, everything's theater, the whole universe, the one song that not everybody gets along in, that one song of dissonance is a script. And we can rewrite that script if we have enough of the collective energy in our morphogenetic hologram of all of us as the Christos body, or the body of light, to rewrite that, so this dark uh, degradation and stuff with black holes and all this doesn't have to come in, and AI doesn't have to come in. At least that's what I hope.
So with the radiation thing, I also transmute radiation at a high dose. But the Zeta Greys bombarded me with so much radiation. So when you're talking like you feel like you've been overloaded, sometimes that's just testing. In my experience, is what I found, because I work on in the here and now. I was working on a nuclear processing plant, but when I look back to where I was stationed for the programs, they are all like they're all nuclear places, yeah, because they're working with testing weapons and stuff. So they're all nuclear places. You can look them up. So it's likely that you have that ability as well to really to transmute high volume radiation. So they place us in places because we're going to offset the radiation dose. That's what I've discovered in the last 6 months.
Well, I know when I was in Florida, there was 3 nuclear power plants. My husband's mother lived near one in Port St. Lucie. There was one in Turkey Point. There's one in the west. And a lot of times they're in this triangle configuration. And yet there's also an organic nuclearness, with the sun. Interesting. I'm coughing again. This
yeah, so
cough
there's a
coming
lot
up.
of throat clearing going on as we're doing this. I'm coughing a lot. So do you have any missing time? Do you remember missing time? Because I don't.
Yes, I have the one that comes to me all the time when I was like a teenager or early 20s. I can't even remember, probably 18, maybe. Because when I went to the Margaritaville cruise recently, when I was down in Port Palm Beach, Florida, which is not far from Mar-a-Lago, by the way. I'm just going to tell you, as a crow flies, probably 5 minutes away. So when we left on that Margaritaville cruise, I could see the backside of Mar-a-Lago from the ocean. But I was in a grocery store called the Grand Union, and I don't remember how I got from in the store to out in the parking lot. I also don't remember one time, and I think I don't know if you had somebody talking about this or Rob, but maybe it was Rob, had a similar situation when I was driving a truck in the middle of Nevada, probably listening to Art Bell, because I always used to listen to Art Bell. Somehow I ended up off the road in the middle of nowhere. It's just like the road ended. It was just like, and then I had to wake Ron up. I'm like, Ron, I don't know where I am. There's no road here.
Wow, that's insane. That is
Yeah.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's likely they took you and put you back.
It's
Oh,
possible. I don't know. I don't know.
that is
I
mad.
don't know. I had an open-eyed experience when I was staying at my parents', after I had moved back in with them for a while, where I'm looking at the ceiling in my old room from when I was a kid, and I see the stars, and this is like open eyes, and I was scared. And I used to always have those vibrations. Sometimes you have that, your body shakes, and a lot of times I won't let myself go to sleep when I shake
Yeah,
because I think they're going to take me.
I
And
do
I don't
that.
want.
It's for me, the shaking is me vibrating out trauma. That's what it scared me for a long time. I actually thought there was a presence in my room. My body was reacting. Now I know I'm shaking out deep, deep trauma from the programs. That's what I'm doing. So I just I kind of relax into it. My body just sends out vibration and then it's gone. So it's less now than it used to be, but that's trauma coming forward. Your body's expressing it. So yeah, but when you said about the no ceiling, I could totally see that right now. I feel like I've had that similar experience. Oh my gosh. And yeah, that's mad. I don't have a huge amount of memories. So for me, everything just opened up about 14 months ago. I started to get a context on the memories I did have. It wasn't until I reconnected with Drago that I started to get like the memory coming in and he could place me in his memories. So sometimes I really have to work at it. There's only a few people that have given me flashbacks, which is interesting. So we've definitely been in the same place at the same time, in the same context of existence, you and I, which is interesting.
I've had a lot of dreams that it's like dark with red lights, and there's like cages and barracks and fences, and you're in these fences, and it's like a military type of setting. And I don't want to be in those. And then
Yeah.
it'll go into corridors of, like, I don't know if I call it mall world. I call it more airport world, parking lot, garage world. And then it's
Yeah.
even turned into like casino world where you
Oh,
end up in
this
the
is
casino. Yeah.
the parking lot mall world. That sounds a lot like the Monic Dome to me, which is in Toronto.
It's the what?
It's the Monic Dome, the main base in
Oh,
Toronto. That sounds a
oh
lot like
God.
that. So so I spend a lot of time there. So I'm only just putting that into my context now. But the red light, the cage, that stuff, that's what came through when I did that vision quest with Sean Bond. And I thought, okay, that feels like Camp Hero. The smell was like Camp Hero. But I think I spent more time at JPG, at the Jefferson Proving Ground, which again was corridors and like institutional cells kind of thing. But there was also a big outdoor space that I remember, and then I remember going down in a lift and an elevator, and it looked a bit like a prison. And Christie's put something very similar in one of her books.
Oh, I'm getting chills on
Right,
that. And
so
it's
that
hot
could be
out today. And I'm,
JPG. That could be JPG. Not many people are talking about JPG. Only me, Drago, and John
okay,
Whitberg I
okay,
know are talking about JPG.
okay. What about drones? I dreamed about drones long before they were around, and I went to a
Yeah.
place where they make drones. I think it's not far from Langley, Virginia. I can't say, but I've had a lot of dreams where I'm near Virginia and Maryland, but I'm not exactly sure where. And a lot of things I wake up thinking Lockheed Martin when I wake up. Like,
Okay. I mean, given the background of what I saw before, it's possible that you were involved in creating those. I had this weird dream, which it was as if it was down the road here, and it was nighttime, and above us, where the phone wires are and everything, it was all drones in the sky, and we were all trying to walk as like a small group of us trying to walk and not disturb the drones above. So I think we were in the future. I think it was on a future timeline, but I still seem to be where I am now in this location, which there's two massive domes by me in Liverpool. I'm just getting up the map for Langley, Virginia, because I'm not familiar.
because in this dream with the drones, it was everything from the tiny mosquito drones that were, like hundreds and thousands of dollars to
Well,
thousands and thousands of dollars of big plane drones at this facility that I was at. And I'm like, why am I here? What is this?
yeah,
What is this about? I know my grandfather worked for Martin Marietta as an
yeah,
engineer. I've got
yeah. There's definitely
family
aspects of
members that
you.
are family members that are in. I maybe I'll see if I feel like I can say. Maybe I
Yeah,
have enough to say.
it's okay.
Yeah, I just want to
Yeah,
protect family members. So
yeah, of course. Because the more we talk about these things, the more it will activate a handler coming forward. But we can heal the handlers. We can take control of that. For me, I get a lot of targeting, so I just have to try and stick to a routine. But whenever I do a podcast with somebody who's also got their own targeting team, yeah, I feel it afterwards for sure. I'm
I
just
mean,
having
I
a
was shut up for years after that one
yeah,
eclipse. I was going to bring a show out about Chris Cornell because I'm a Soundgarden fan, and the whole thing was shut down. Then I was like, with the technology, then it didn't matter. I'm like, well, somebody else is going to come up with this. And like I said, after that one eclipse, it was like the first one took my voice away, and then the second one, my voice came back. And I know I need to speak and I need to write. And now I'm having problems. I was writing this story, having problems with the AI. The AI lost my
yeah.
information, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to be using any AI. I don't
I think you can
know.
override the AI, and that's why it's giving you trouble. Because there's an aspect of you I really feel like who is in charge of the technology in the future. I'm not sure why, but there's like a cataloging version of you. I feel like there's a version of you that takes audit.
and then and then this person doesn't like any of that. Like that they
Yeah.
enjoy flying, not really. Now my father's a pilot. He was not able to go into the service because he's colorblind, which was a good thing.
Mm.
Now, I remember the pink tablets or pink something. I always thought that
Yeah,
had something to do with fluoride. I didn't know.
yeah.
Maybe it's another use
No,
too
I
that
thought it
they
was,
do that.
to colour your teeth. That's what I thought it was. Then everyone was talking about the drink, but now other people have remembered the tablet like I remember. So yeah, so I remember the hearing test. I remember putting on
Hearing
headphones,
tests all the time. Why the
right?
hearing tests? Yeah, my
Hmm.
husband said he remembers that. I remember coloring the little dot a lot of times, and I'm not talking just SAT tests. I'm talking like excessive testing, it seemed like,
Yeah,
and being put in waiting rooms, like, and field trips to nowhere and things like that. Like I'm on a field trip to I remember one that was something about dressing up as like Indians or something. I don't know, in the woods, but I can't remember any others. And I know my mother took me out of Girl Scouts because I don't even
yeah.
remember anything about Girl Scouts except for selling cookies. That's the only thing. I have no memory of
Yeah.
it except for sitting in waiting rooms.
I was in the Girl Guides, and I was in the Girls Brigade, and I was in the Girl Guides again. So I was like, I went into different ones. I'm not even sure why, because I didn't like it. So I remember that. And oh hey Venus. So Venus is staying out in America with Brad Olsen at the moment, and they're traveling around. So yeah, so I don't know. I remember some of that. I don't have a lot of memories from childhoods for me, so that's what I'm actively trying to memory mine and get back at the moment. Drago's got way more memories of me than I've got of myself, which is insane.
Yeah.
But it's all different versions. So, did you ever meet a doppelganger, or did anybody ever say they'd seen you as a doppelganger? So we get back into the
Um,
clones.
yes, somebody said they've seen people that look like me, but I don't know. But I know other people that talk more about that there's doppelgangers of them. Yeah, yeah, there is, but that doesn't stand. It's nothing that stands out, at least right now, because I've
Yeah,
got so much spinning that I'm trying to
yeah,
think what's relative. I mean,
yeah.
I know you brought up on your other show something about periods, so I don't want to be too gross,
Did
but
I?
uh,
You're one word of
I'll tell you when I was a baby, they said I was bleeding. And they say this is normal with the hormones. And I got, this is not normal. It came to me later. They probably took my eggs at that time. And then again, like at 10 or 11, when I actually had a hemorrhaging after visiting, I think it was an Air Force base in Oklahoma. And I do remember something going through the window. And I think they took them again.
It's getting very, very hot in here right now. I'm not joking. It's like the energy's just gone.
I hope
It's
that
mad.
helps somebody.
Yeah,
I've
I
never said
remember.
that on a show.
So I had really bad eczema. So I remember going to a hospital, and but I had to leave my mum to go in and see the doctor by
You had
myself,
a
and I
bad
was
what? Bad what? I didn't hear the word.
eczema. You know, the skin, psoriasis,
Oh,
eczema.
eczema. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
eczema.
That's
So, but
autoimmune
I
type of thing.
remember my mum didn't go in with me. I went into the doctor by myself at 5 years old. Right?
Oh,
That's something's wrong there because I remember leaving my mum and going in. Right, so I don't know what happened, but yeah, there's a load of weird stuff that's going on. James Whitkiss is saying he remembers waiting rooms and waiting for appointments as well. Yeah, James and I've got loads of parallels that we're just kind of uncovering at the moment. So that's
I
mad.
remember running away from a doctor when they wanted to give me a shot. He was sticking shots in my butt and I didn't want it. And he cut me because he's sticking it against my will. And I'm running away from this doctor. Like, I don't want these, because my mother wasn't aware of the vaccines then. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that word. I don't know.
I
We're
think
not
it's okay now.
diagnosing. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's okay.
Yeah.
That's mad. So when you spoke to James Rink, did he ever talk about remembering you or anything like that?
He, I don't know if he actually remembered me. We did get to spend some time together and he wanted me to do his box. And I did that box thing and I had a total meltdown. I can't remember all of it, but what I do remember is that I ended up at the Biltmore estate. And I started having also memories of when I would have dreams of Obama being in town in Asheville because Obama used to stay, and I'm talking quietly because there's other people around that could potentially hear me. Um, there's a place called now it's the well, it's the Grove Park Inn. Now it's the Omni Grove Park Inn, but it's the Grove Park Inn. And I used to have dreams that I was in catering when Obama was there, and there was these secret places with inside the Omni Grove Park Inn, and I would be spying.
Did anybody else just get a True Lives buzz then? True Lies, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes. So yeah, that was definitely undercover for sure. You were definitely undercover there. Oh my word.
And you
Um,
know what else was weird is I have the gift of smells, and one time I could smell that it smelled like a hospital. I'm like, why does this place have a smell? Because there's paranormal activity there. There's the people go to investigate the Pink Lady, which is a woman that could have been having an illicit affair or something happened with her. But anyway, she fell to her death, and one of the rooms is haunted. And I got some orb pictures. I didn't stay in that room, but I stayed above it and I took some pictures. And the main reason we wanted to stay there was not just for that, it's because staying there on a Sunday night, we had spa time, and they have a beautiful spa, with the hot and cold water, and all these pools like waterfall pools and all this stuff. But then I was so upset because somebody got my credit card information and charged thousands of dollars to Apple iTunes. Oh my God, from the garbage at the Grove Park Inn. But yeah, the Grove Park, and they do a gingerbread contest there every fall, except they
mm.
didn't for a few years because of that stupid disease, virus thing that was going on. They quit doing it. But yeah, that's kind of neat that they do. But so that's where I had I know Obama would stay there, and because he played golf and different things. And he had two favorite restaurants in the Asheville area. One was the 12 Bones, and the other one was the Corner Kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked much into it, but I totally believe that he's part of the programs. You know, they all are, aren't they? There is a
Yeah.
question from James Whitkiss, and it's a nice question. And he's saying, Missy, do you ever find when you're in that half awake, half asleep state, just before you drift off, you find yourself in a chair or a tank someplace hooked up to a system?
I don't know about a chair, but I feel like underwater, some underwater things sometimes. I mean, I was questioning when I was in Florida recently if I was in that underwater sea program that Renetta Jones talks about.
Yeah, Project
Because
Sea, a lot of us were in that program.
Project, what's it called? Because you
Seagate.
cut it.
Seagate.
Seagate.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, my internet must be dodgy. So loads of us were in that program, but that's just an umbrella term. There were smaller projects, I believe, because we were augmented with dolphin DNA. But there was other things because Aaron McCullum, he talked about that 15, 20 years ago, and he's not public anymore, Aaron McCullum. He seems to be in hiding, I think, so the targeting. But when I heard his voice, I went into massive overwhelm. So I know that I was in a project with Aaron McCullum. I know it. I
Wow.
also know that he was British. He wasn't American. The version I knew of him was, I remember him having like a London accent. Because when I look at him, that's how I see him. So yeah, he talked a lot about the Project Seagate. And Christy talks about it as well. I think Drago Reed started to talk about Project Seagate as well. Maybe John Whitberg. I'm not too sure if he was in it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, a lot of us were in the underwater programs, but Raynetta thought that we were all trained underwater first before we went off planet. What do you think about that?
I know this that when I tried to do life saving class, I couldn't really do it because I always wanted to get my certification, dive certification, and get with tanks. And I can't equalize or any of that stuff. And I have problems with my ears. I have problems with my ears now. My ears will build up with fluid. I have to be careful of not getting ear infections when I taught water aerobics. So it's everything they've had me do, I physically can't do now.
Yeah, I can't do it either. So when I have my son, my ear is filled with calcium on the stapes bone. So now I can't equalize. I can't blow out my nose. I can't pop my ears. I've got hearing aids. I'm deaf now. I'm totally deaf. I can only
Oh,
hear like 15 to 20%.
oh
So
no.
you're blasted. You're like Bluetoothed into my head right now. But I think some of that is maybe it could be overuse. We were overused in the programs, or it could just be they don't want us going down that avenue anymore, and they've retired us from a certain project and pushing
So
us in
you think
another
it's
direction.
you think it's the 20 and back? And then James
Well,
said you need to get paid for that, which we didn't, I guess.
so
Why did we
different,
agree to this stuff? I don't even know
yeah,
why we would agree to it. I
yeah.
don't get it. That's what I'm
I don't
trying to
know. I
figure out.
mean,
Why
different
me?
factions have different things. So, like Nachtwaffen, they didn't do 20 and back very often. They generally did 40 or 60 and back, right? So it wasn't just 20 years in Nachtwaffen. But like Kruger, yeah, you know, Kruger liked to do cloning, but Nachtwaffen taking your physical body. And I've only discovered all this in the last year, so I am not an expert on this. I'm still
I thought this
discovering.
was more astral. I know my
Yeah,
mother did not want me watching the movies Rosemary's Baby.
yeah,
When that movie came out, she
yeah,
did not want me to see it, but I saw that later in life.
yeah,
And I think that discloses the way they do it, just sort of like Eyes Wide Shut with
yeah.
these Epstein files and stuff. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, so
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they
It's
can, like
bizarre.
Kruger and everything, they can take your consciousness and put you into a clone body off planet. They can do that, or they can
That's what
just
I
run
think
a
they're
clone.
doing.
Yeah, they can just
That's
run a
what
clone
because
off you. So you just need a piece of your soul in another body. It doesn't have to even be a DNA match to do that. I've got millions. So they can just run
ah,
you. So Kruger, but Kruger might make sense for you actually, because they do a lot of augmentation. Um, it might make sense. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a good thing, because it is not a good thing. None of it is good. It makes me very uncomfortable. That's why I laugh. But it's James is saying he feels very at home in water, so it's likely he was in the sea programs as well, I think. But
well, I love being in the water, but I'm not a
yeah,
fan of like the beach so much.
yeah,
Like being on in the sun. I mean, I feel like to me the sun feels completely toxic. I can't be in it. I feel like I'm getting burned with radiation. I
yeah.
can't do, and it feels
Well,
artificial.
I
People
had
say,
a
"Oh, the sun."
memory. I had a memory that I thought was the undersea program, but then when I started to read the John Whitbo books about Ganymede and how and ask him about that, and there's like a dome civilization underwater, and I grew up on Ganymede, so I grew up in a dark abyss underwater. I found that calming. I've got a memory of like looking out into the black, so it's like Stargate Atlantis when they're underwater. I found that calming. So I don't know if I was in the sea programs or if I was just underwater. So I think I was, because of the connection to Aaron McCullum. The vibration was so strong. I literally thought he must have died. I had to get someone to check out, is he still alive? And he seems to be still alive. Anyway,
There's a waking dream that I remember staying with my girlfriend in Fort Lauderdale. I can't remember how many years ago this was, but I was in that waking lucid sleep, and there was a tone that was like lulling me and pulling me into the ocean. And I saw myself where there was all these white pillars. We have a roundhouse, which is Deltec, but it's like these round homes that had not just on stilts, because it was like they almost had these like elevators to go up and down, where you would be a mermaid and swim with a tail, and then somehow you'd change into having legs and get going underwater, but then being able to breathe in an atmosphere underwater, like you swim to this underwater place, and there'd be these big giant magenta crystals that would tone and vibrate, and you'd walk around like in some kind of cave setting. I still remember this. Is some
wow,
dreams that I've actually had that are so vivid.
yeah.
Here's one. I think you said something about the orb. I had this vision of this fire hand taking something out of like its chest, although it was fire, like golden light, and saying, "I'm going to send you to Earth. Some will not make it back. Are you willing to take this risk?" And I said yes, and everything went black.
Oh my gosh, that's like before you even incarnated on the planet. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
or
Yeah,
incarnated wherever, I don't know.
yeah,
But
that's
see, all
amazing.
these memories are like, here, they're like,
Yeah.
I got a puzzle piece here, I got a puzzle piece here, but trying to get the puzzle pieces where these fit together, I feel like they're
They're
all.
not possibly going to fit together, because there's different versions of you in different contexts of existence, different ages, different times, your multiple versions all at the same time. So don't try and make a linear map. It's never going to work, right? It won't. It can't. It's not possible. Yeah, so you have
Yeah.
to kind of throw that out the window and start to think about, okay, I've got this memory. What did I feel like then? How old was I? What did I look like? What was my name? And then a different memory do the same kind of process. So I've been trying to figure out how to make sense of what's been going on with me for the last 2 years, and I was mind fractured so many times. There's so many versions of me out there. Yeah, so you just have to think of their separate alters. They really are separate alters of you. Yeah, unfortunately, sorry.
There's another dream. Do you ever know of a place? I don't know if it's Svalbard in Norway. I can't say it, but it's in the North Pole. There's a white house that's like one of these industrial, like a brick, like it's built into the side of a mountain, and the window panes are this thick, like this, because when the waves crash against it, it's like built into it, like it's almost like a base, but it's the ocean hits it. And I have these two friends that were pretending to be married in this dream. Okay, they were dating at one time, now they're not. They're putting on a fake wedding where I was there, sent there thinking they were going to get married. And then there was all these like entertainment, like Las Vegas and drag queens and people. It was just bizarre. I'm like, why am I here? And then this one friend that I'm not friends with, who actually was Russian but lived in the UK, but I'm not friends with her anymore because of this thing. You know this, Julia, this thing.
Sorry, I'm looking at the map of Norway. What's going on there? Sorry.
That thing, remember that what they wanted to do to us? She wasn't my
Yes,
friend
of course,
anymore
sorry.
because I wouldn't get it. But she loved my cat soda, and she had this head that was like the jester. You know how like one face, the head that has a face in the front and a face in the back, and she was wearing this like black hat that looked like either an Amish hat or witch's hat. She was there, and something about making peace because of soda. But it turns out that my friends, you know, in this thing, there's this whole thing. They're saying, well, she's on a different side than we are. You know, we're on a certain side. They get out these weapons, and this whole thing is like a takedown thing. And I didn't even know why I was there. She's like, you didn't get the notes of why you're here? We sent we debriefed you why you're here, and you don't have any memory of why you're even here. And I'm like, no, I thought I was here for a wedding. She's like, no, this whole wedding thing is a fake thing. It's to take somebody down or out or something like. And I have a vivid memory of this, like I lived it, you know. So there's certain dreams I don't have to write down because I feel like I lived it, and that was one of them.
A remote view on Svalbard in Norway? Because I've got the
Not
map
yet.
up, and I'm just looking at that.
Not exactly yet. No,
Definitely
but
drawn to. There's an area that's got like a square kind of bay, and I've just gone straight in there. Right, pretty sure that is a base right there. Can't really see anything on it on this map, but I'm pretty sure because there's like a track coming off from the bay area. Pretty sure that is a base.
Because I have had a lot of dreams of that place. It's like a place that I visit regularly. It's like I have these places that I visit regularly in my dreams that are more than dreams. It's very strange.
Yeah.
And in my waking reality, I really do feel drawn to go to Greenland because there's a cruise that leaves from Baltimore on Carnival where you don't even have to get on a plane, which I don't really want to get on a plane and fly right now, but I don't mind getting on a ship and doing that. And it goes to Karkatar. I don't even know if I'm saying these places.
I think I don't think going to Greenland is wise because it's definitely an underground base there. You're probably just going to get reassigned when you go. So if you're feeling a push to go, there's
really?
a base there. And
where I'd be going, what isn't near bases, but the reason I feel like I want to be with the ice, and I do feel like the Northern Lights talk to me all the time.
It's quite possible that you're receiving a little bit of suggestive programming to draw you to Greenland because there's something they want you to do there. So so have a good think about that before you book anything. Because I'm just pulling.
Probably not going now anyway, and the reason is because I don't think I'm going to be going anywhere. None of us may be going anywhere right now.
Yeah, because I thought when I started traveling like 20 odd years ago, I thought I was in control of where I was going, and now I look back and see I was just transferred between different Commonwealth countries. So every choice I made was not my own. So when I look at the cards, I get military abduction, get MK Ultra, and I get super soldier. So if you go to Greenland, it's quite possible you're reassigned. right? And you'll be
Ooh,
used
ooh.
there for something, yeah, while you're there. So just saying,
I
it
do
might not
feel,
be.
I do feel, I don't even 100% trust the Guardians. I've said this, right? I don't trust any race at all, but I do feel that, and I don't trust, DJT at all. I don't trust any of them, but I do feel there is something with Greenland as far as the poles. So I need to find out what part of me is
Well,
why the Northern
perhaps,
Lights call me. And I
yeah,
mean, I want to go to any of places that have Viking things going
yeah,
on
I
because my
agree.
mother was Norwegian and I'd like to go. And the reason I thought of that and felt that is
Yeah.
because, like I said, I don't have to get on a plane and go anywhere. I don't have to
Yeah.
go through
So
TSA. I don't have to
Greenland needs a
do.
lot of healing. So I did, I'm a crystal therapist and I lead groups and workshops. And it was about 2 years ago now, and I printed out loads of maps and my ladies, and we were doing pendulum work and we were putting crystals on the maps to do our own kind of crystal grid work. And me and one of the ladies, we got to Greenland and we were dowsing over Greenland. Crystal, crystal, crystal. When we looked at it, we'd covered the majority of Greenland with crystals. The energy is so dense and dark there. And it's not Greenland's fault. There's a huge underground military base there and stargates and stuff.
Right.
So, right, so
And
you're
then there's
drawn
that
there.
UFO and all that stuff
Yeah,
that might have something to do with
yeah. So
time.
you're drawn there to heal the land, which is perfect. But if you are in the special access programs, just know that you'll likely get reassigned while you're there and you'll get utilized for something potentially nefarious. So, yeah, so we
Yeah,
have to
I
be
don't want
careful.
to do that. I would like to go to Iceland too because
Yeah,
that's the land of hot springs,
I've been to Iceland. I have been for 1 week. I need to revisit what happened when I was there, to be honest, because I went with my family. I thought it was
Did you go
okay.
into hot springs?
We did. We went to not the big popular one. We went to a smaller one, which was really lovely, a bit hidden, more inland. Not the big commercial one that everybody goes to, the Blue Lagoon or whatever it's called. We went to one a bit more inland, and we stayed in a few different Airbnbs. One was quite remote, and it was like a farmhouse we stayed in, and she did amazing Icelandic food every meal, and it was so good. We hired a car and travelled around. It was a good experience. But now I need to kind of revisit and think, okay, did something happen to me when I was there? Because I had really weird dreams while I was there, for sure. I really did. But then it wasn't me that actually wanted to go. It was my partner at the time really wanted to go, like push, handle, push, let's go, let's go, let's go. So yeah. Okay,
I
so
also
Nathan,
would love to do the Atlantic Road in Norway, which is
yeah,
absolutely
yes,
gorgeous. Oh
yeah,
my God, I would love to drive that. I would love
yeah.
to see that.
Nathan Fox is saying Greenland was settled by the Vikings, considered too violent by the other Norse. So, yeah, so there's definitely something going on in Greenland. Otherwise, Trump wouldn't want it, would he? If
That's
it,
right too.
yeah,
Yeah. But there is something about, I don't know. I see a timeline. I don't know if this is correct or not correct, where, Greenland, all that is connected. And maybe it was everything split off from the United States, well, from Canada, the United States, and, Mexico and South America, and everything went this way. But I don't know. I have no idea.
okay, so I'm just popping in the chat if anyone's got any questions for you, because we've got a couple of super soldiers in the chat and a couple of experiences. If there's anything they'd like to ask you, they're welcome. We have very supportive community, so don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid to do this because I didn't want to be branded as this.
No,
You know
no,
what I mean?
we've all had so many different experiences. Not everybody is super soldier, ultra soldier, or whatever. Some of us are, there's versions of me that are like that, but there's versions of me that are scientists. There's versions of me that are just weapons, and, there's a lot of different versions that I'm
Speaking of
discovering.
weapons, I want to share this because I think
Mm.
with all the weather wars going on, I've seen my higher self work on hurricanes. And sometimes I'm put in places, and I'm very afraid of hurricanes. I hate them. They bother me so much, that. I mean, I was removed from Florida when Hurricane Andrew happened, but there was that Helene that devastated Western North Carolina. And there were some others that almost hit. And I've seen my higher self work with the Thor's hammer, like the crystalline version of Thor's hammer, and doing something with with the crystals and the sound coming off of it, sort of like working with Excalibur or working with, some other thing, which is like a
Yeah,
frequency
I do
device.
that too. I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I stopped. I mean, I didn't do it, but whatever I'm connected to, stop the hurricane. But I've also gotten sick when these things happen. Like it really takes a lot out of the physical body doing that. And I don't want to do it, but I have to do it.
Yeah, you're a bit like me in a way that you're that anchor, you're that lightning rod for the planet. So, when you are choosing to transmute that, that's a really powerful move. There's a version of you that's like a giant when I think of you like that. Really powerful, like a giant. Tiffany Marie says, "We love you, Missy."
Oh, thank you. I love you guys too. Yeah, I just want to be like raw and like try to be as authentic.
Yeah,
And I don't have
yeah,
any. I don't care whether people believe me or they. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. I'm to that point now that I have to get this out
yeah,
because my higher self is saying if the more you share, the more of your gifts will come in. It's like you have
yeah.
to give away to receive more.
Yeah, I understand because for me, I started like a few years ago working with a quantum healer, and I started to get memory come in of like me being on another planet or on a ship, or it just didn't make any sense. And I'm searching for context, and he didn't have it. And then when I found like typical skeptic community and was starting to get context and starting to think, does this can't apply to me? This doesn't make any sense. But as soon as I got that context, a confirmation from Sean Bond and all that, boom, everything just fell into place for me. And I felt, I mean, I lost a lot of people along the way. I lost a lot of clients, I lost friends, I lost a
Oh,
lot of people around me, but that made sense for me. Because before that I was trying to go down the grid worker path. I was trying to, doing all of Indigo Angels courses and things like that. And then I realized that's not my language. It's just not my language at all. And then I kind of fell into the program stuff, but it really did make sense why I couldn't remember my childhood and weird experiences, why it wasn't attached to my family, why I didn't have emotions, and it may start to make sense. But everybody's different. But I believe, I think John Whitberger said, it's like 3/4 of the planet are on in programs. So
yeah,
yeah,
we have to figure out why. What is
yeah,
the reason they're doing this? And we have no memory of it. Why are they doing this? Why are
yeah,
they using all of us as guinea pigs with no memory? I know on higher levels we also come into, we pick certain families,
mm,
incarnate into these families to clear bloodlines and stuff like that. And I've had to do a lot of bloodline clearing.
yeah,
I'm definitely, I see myself as an indigo type 1, but I've also been that indigo type 2, which is the healer, the
yeah.
polarity. You're bringing up quantum healing. I do something called the quantum infinity. I do healing modalities too. I
Mm.
cards and speaking of, we have a connection with Joshua Shapiro. I want to show some of the skulls I got from them.
Yes.
This one is called. He has one that looks like this. Why can't you see it? Oh,
Oh, there we go. I see it now.
I call it Azoth. You can see the rainbows
Oh,
in
I've
its
been
head.
looking for one like this, Bring it
This
more to
alien
your right.
crystal skull.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
that's
what is
better.
going on? Alien crystal skull. He's got one. He calls it Leilani the King, but this
Yeah.
one's name is Azoth, which means
Is he
fire
is he
water.
Arcturian? Is he Arcturian? Um
I I don't know. Are you Arcturian? I guess he could be. He says he
So I
could be.
I did the process that Joshua Shapiro does with Katrina, who she now calls herself something like Shallow Mar or something like that. So I
Yeah.
did that energetic process, and boy, did I get so much come through. I really did, and connected with not only with Joshua, but with Commander Rialta. So I'm I'm Telenaya Arcturian, and Rialta is like my twin, and we're either side of Joshua, right, in another realm. So we're there to support him. I need to check in with him actually because he works on such
We
a
were
high
su-
vibration. His hands shake a lot these days. Um,
we were supposed to try to see him. We saw him last year. We got together with him when he did his crystal skull meditation. We went and met him in I think it's Ormond. I know it's not Ormond. What is the name of it? Not far from Orlando, but I can't think of the name of the town right now. But this is Blue Dragon. We also Katrina picked this
oh,
one out
that's
especially for
nice.
me. And then
Yeah.
I have these other ones that the reason I brought these four, even though these I didn't get from all of them from them, is because they work with the four royal stars, which is Regulus, Aldebaran, Fomalhaut, and Antares. And this one is
Wow.
Liberty San Juan. I got this one when before I went to Puerto Rico, so it could go to Puerto Rico. And this one I got, and I called it Darth because it's black.
Yeah. I love my dragon skulls. I do have some like, like humanoid skulls. I love my dragons. I really do.
Yeah.
I activated one of them. So he's got his own personality, but when I have him on my desk, he judges me a little bit. He's like staring at me, judging me. There is a message here from Kat, and she says, would Missy want to expand on her choice to reveal these aspects of herself, pros and cons? I'm not too sure on the wording of that, Kat, if I'm saying that right. But I think she's saying, are you going to maybe look into more of your program stuff that's starting to surface?
Yeah. Some of it is, my father's still alive, and I have things that he shared with me, which I'm looking for the time to disclose that. I mean, some of it, he knows he was in the Montauk program. He speaks German gibberish, and he's got a problem with alcohol. So, it's just.
Hey, if we've been in the programs, we've all got our vices. I'm addicted to Pepsi Max. I've got 1 trillion contracts apparently on and off planet with PepsiCo. Like all of my clones are addicted to Pepsi.
Why Pepsi as opposed to Coke? See, this is a weird thing that people have brought up. Like, I hear there's people that like Pepsi. Somebody was on Rob's show talking about Pepsi.
Definitely me.
I'm not a soda drinker. I like I'll drink kombucha, and I like that mineral water. I guess I like coffee though. I like coffee.
Off planet, they have different versions of Pepsi that have different nanites in them, so you can learn a language or whatever. So it's really big off world.
Okay.
That I wouldn't mind. The Wizard Wickus is saying the Black Sheep Society. I think that's all of us. Yeah. And Erin's saying she can't wait till she can tap into her higher self, and she feels she's being blocked from accessing. See, I don't get that many dreams. I don't know what I do in the astral. So if there's a memory that I'm kind of ignoring, sometimes it will resurface in the dream, but not very often. So I have to go into Vision Quest. I really have to go into Vision Quest to get my memories now.
Most of my dreams I don't remember. Most of the time it's black hole sleep, but I want to know why sometimes it's this thing of being kept awake.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you get pain in the nighttime? Pain in the body?
I've had that too.
Yeah.
Chest, you can't breathe, all that
in your
kind
chest.
of stuff.
Yeah. I've had moments where I felt like I've been strangled. I had a handler reach into my mind at one point, and I managed to push them away. But it was like I saw the guy. I think it happened twice actually. It's like I saw. Sorry, just checking. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, there's a guy that keeps coming around and walking around too. I find it very strange.
Yeah.
He's walked back and forth a few times. So
yeah, he's probably interested in what
you're
doing.
Yeah, just shield that.
Let's put some shields up, guys.
Okay. One time you brought up the steam pump thing, and I want to tell you this. After my mother died, or right before, I can't remember, I saw this mechanical thing to do with time open up, and I looked above it. It was like it had all these things where it would line up almost like a safe and locks, and you're looking at this, and it has something it was like a vault, and I'm like, and she's showing me this, and she said it really is like this, and I'm like, I think she went to the Pleiades for a while before she went to Andromeda. I don't know, but that's kind of what I was getting, and my father even validated that she went back to the Pleiades.
When you talk about vault, I just kind of see like you're leading people into something like a secure area, but there's technology, so there's definitely some kind of audit aspect to you of where you're saying, okay, I need this. It's like you're running a base. I'm not sure. You should really talk to Christy Campbell. She'll be
probably should. I was wanting to connect with. I was supposed to connect with Jessica Jones. I know that's for a different reason through Barry Littleton. You know who Barry is? Because
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah, and that whole thing got shut down because of weather, and they never reached back out to me again.
So there's a question saying, Missy, do you sleep with your eyes partially open?
I don't think I sleep that way, but I've found myself that way at times, like having to be on alert, and being most of the time I'm a light sleeper. I can't sleep a full night's sleep all the time and get it. I mean, but then
Yeah.
I'd actually do better doing that the closer to daylight than in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, I feel like it's like security clearance. I have to be awake.
Yeah, I
But
sleep better middle of the day. Yeah. I hardly sleep at night. I just toss and turn. I get pain in the body a lot. I feel like I'm on a targeting pattern. Like it's like press this button at 2 a.m. I feel like it's that, someone's in China doing that. I was thinking, do you ever get like holographic images coming out? So when you're doing your remote viewing or anything, does it ever feel like it's outside of yourself? Yeah.
yes,
Is it one eye more than the other, or is it both?
it might be actually the left eye more. And I've had problems with this. I went last year,
Yeah.
opened, I was in doing the elliptical where I am, and I opened the door, and all this dust came in, and a particle of like some kind of splintering thing, like whatever they were doing with the deck, they were working on it, like, with saws, and they were going to paint it. And all this crap ended up in my eye, and it happened on a weekend. I couldn't go to the eye doctor. I start using salt water, like I'm doing like Himalayan salt because that's all I had. She's like, don't do that again. It took like a year for this crap to come out of my eye. And what's interesting is my one eye doctor in Asheville, that was actually the Eye of Horus. It was a picture on the Eye of Horus on the eye doctor. She said I have polymorphic disturbances, which is something about the
Oh,
way the shape of the eye is. I just thought,
okay.
isn't that weird? But it's
Yeah.
actually
Did she
has
say
that
it
weird
was
polymorphic.
just the left, or was it both eyes?
Well, I have floaters too, and they tend to be more in both eyes. But last year it was in the left eye because that eye was so dry because of that piece of
Mm.
debris that was in the eye.
Okay, so we have a left eye implant, right? So there's a neural link at the back, left side, and there's a left eye implant. And so when it's
Oh, that makes
projecting out,
sense.
yeah,
That
it
makes
projects
sense
out of
why
the
the
eye and the
tooth,
screen
the,
opens.
the, the tooth on this side and all this stuff with headaches, all this
Yeah,
going more on the left side, and then it flips to the right side.
yeah.
When I was in the accident, they shot me with the electricity. This is in the 3D. When I was hit by a semi truck,
Mm.
they actually shot me with the electricity to test my nerves in the right leg, and now I've got this pain in my IT band. It's like,
Okay.
oh,
Did you so did you do your J seals and your Draco seal removals?
oh
Okay,
yeah.
so do you have a reaction to the right, left, or left body? Did you get memories come in?
Oh, I can't remember because I did the J Seal thing way before Indy. I knew about that, and my pains have flipped back and forth between the right and left side because I think the original traumas, some of them were on the right side, but now I don't know because with in the physical, I'm a right short leg and left long leg, which means my right hip is pronated and my left hip goes the other way. Because I know this in yoga, like when I try to do like from a down dog or a plank and bring my foot forward. Because when he adjusts me, my chiropractor, he says, my left leg is longer and I've got more pain in my left hip right now. But that's flipped back and forth. So I can't remember now where the original side started. I don't remember, but I think it's more connecting to the Draco seals than the
Mm.
than the J seals. I have more of that Atlantean stuff than I
Yeah.
do the J seal things.
Yeah, so because I say that because when I did when I was doing the training and I listened back to the Draco seal removal, I felt this massive flush of energy and I got a horizontal wave of dead sea scrolls coming at me with like Plato or Merlin coming at me. So there's definitely something to do with right side body that unlocks memory, right? So interesting. I
Yeah,
don't do.
so right side body would be left brain, right side of the body, and right brain, left side of the body. And
Oh, that's interesting. I
trying to
haven't
think.
thought about
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, as far as whatever.
that.
But
Yeah.
in Chinese medicine, it's different. It doesn't go by that in Chinese medicine. I can't remember exactly how it is, but it is different.
Yeah. So
Than
Tiffany's
that.
saying, is your left eye the dominant eye?
Probably because I'm left-handed,
Oh, right.
but
Okay.
but I'm also very ambidextrous because when I play the guitar, I do it this way. I don't do it like the Paul McCartney way. I do it this way. And
Mm.
when I played baseball as a kid, I did it that way, not this way. So it depends on what it is. I write equally bad with both hands, so people say I should have been a doctor because my handwriting is just awful.
So James is talking about the hood, the heads-up display, left eye pop-up heads-up display, right eye can be like a sniper scope to zoom in on a target, he's saying. So I've not had that, I've not noticed that, but I've definitely had the left eye pop-up display with the heads up. And because somebody removed it as well, oh, you've got an implant there, and they etherically removed it. And then I had to make a case to get it put back in, because why would I not want that, right? So I got it back, and my guys put it back in for me. That's really interesting. Okay, so we've been going for 73 minutes, and so is there anything in particular that we haven't spoken about that you really want to talk about before I take more random questions?
No, go ahead and start taking some random
Okay.
questions, because that might spark me, because I'm trying to think. I'm thinking about implants, and there's certain things I'm thinking about. I think we've been genetically enhanced with animal DNA. Like I really resonate with cats, and I've never had any human children, but one time I had a dream where I actually gave birth to a feline cat.
Okay, so I mean, you're definitely Lyran, because I had that card come out. Super Soldier cards come
I've
out
had that before too, and I resonate with cats. I love cats.
Arcturian has come out for you, and there's that level of you've basically been through the ringer. So so let's see.
But then I've got the Shala on Mars, because I've got Antares in my, being a Scorpio.
So is that, you're Scorpio as well? When's your birthday?
Yeah, October 27th.
Oh, mine's November 17th.
Okay.
So channeled message card has come out. So if you've been getting...
Oh my God, 1117 has shown up for me, number sequences for years.
Really?
Maybe pointing to this. Wow, that's so cool.
Channeled messages. So if you've been getting anything through from your guides lately, what have you been getting?
What did that say? Let me see that card again.
So it says channeled messages. So it says they've been talking to you for a long time, it says. Oh, yeah. So what have you been getting in? I'm just going to check the chat. This is a cow face. Jason. That's funny. So let's see, what else have I been through? Is there anybody that you've been really drawn to or whatever? Because for the person that I'm bonded to, I was not drawn to them. I was actually kind of like, oh no, I don't want to listen to that person. I don't want to talk to that person. Then you find out you've been bonded to that person for 300,000 years. I know, and in this life we're trying to go our separate ways, but we got drawn back together. So yeah, so that's me and Draco Reed, and because we're literal siblings, we're actual siblings, DNA match siblings, so which is a bit insane. So is there anybody that you feel really drawn to? Have you had that kind, you don't have to say who it is, but have you had that kind of experience where you see somebody and you just think, God, I know you so much?
I've had that before. Yeah, I've had that before.
Yeah. But is there anybody you think, I can't stand you? Yeah.
And then there's people, there's those two. There's people, because I feel that they're coming to derail some of my other relationships. Like they're put there and they don't even know, but from another timeline, they were a disruptor. They may not know that they're that now because they're not awake to it. Because there's a lot of people that show up that are not awake to certain things.
That's good, disruptor. Yeah. So a lot of us are like, I know me and my dad, we're not from this timeline, and we came in, there was like disasters or whatever, so we literally came to this timeline to get away from something, which is why there's no abundance for us in this timeline, because it's not our original timeline, right? We literally hijacked the time streams to get here. So when you do things like that, there's nothing here for you. It's like we're rebels. So so there's different contexts of existence. Oh, hi Desiree. Desiree's in the chat. So if anyone's got random questions, please pop them in. Otherwise, I'm just going to
I've got a lot of German, so the Nazi stuff is in my timelines too, and including a relative that was one, so a distant relative from what I know.
Okay, until we get a question from the chat, here is a random question. What is a lesson you feel you learned too late in life?
A lesson I learned, I should have, I saw David Avocado Wolf put this up. What would you say to your younger self? I would say probably, move, get away from parents and those that are wanting to control you, that are wanting to, and take a leap of faith and don't be afraid. I probably overthink things before I do them because I've been around people that just make hasty decisions, and I've seen what it's done because it hasn't worked out too well for a lot of people that I've been close to, where they don't think things through, and maybe I overthink things and don't, uh,
Mm.
so.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions, pop them in the chat. Have you ever had kind of like a dream memory where you're holding like a glass screen, a glass
I don't
pad?
know.
Okay,
I
just
don't
sort
think so.
of.
More
Or
a crystal ball.
crystal ball. Okay, was it a crystal ball that had a pyramid around the outside, like a metal frame?
No, just your typical like round ball or crystal skulls or different crystals, and like
Yeah.
somehow being able to actually project and go into that
Ah,
thing,
okay.
like have a small version of you
Yeah.
inside that place.
Okay, I've not experienced that. But they're using the crystal sphere as data centers. Yes, I've done that. But they more fit in, they slot it, it's like a memory bank. So the crystals fit into a pyramid shape, which then slots into like a spiral. And I use that for DNA storage. James is saying he's had glass pad memories.
Oh, that
Interesting.
crystal, though, I can see what you say. That's like a crystal, a crystal disc, right? Like
Mm.
like instead of a tablet like we use now, doing it on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had so when I've got a version of me who's on Elysium, which is like a platform off Mars, and she's just got like glass screens and they're just glass, but when you walk up to it you can see things on it. When you walk away you can't see it. So there's things like that. And so what else? What else? So random question. Okay. If what's something you would change if you ran the world?
If I ran the world, I would have people sit in council, and there wouldn't be leaders the way we have them. It would be more leaderless, and there would be like maybe an inner circle and an outer circle, and that would rotate depending on people putting how they would put their energy, because I don't really believe that any of these people are in power or elected. I think they're selected. So there have to be a real electoral process where the people really get involved somehow. And I see it as like a council of equal energy between men and women, like maybe 6 men and 6 women for a certain council. And in regional areas, like I could say, like in the United States, I would put regions together. Like I'll give you an example, like demographically or geographically, depending on the topographical map of the way things are, like Western North Carolina, which is mountains, with Eastern Tennessee, and maybe northern. I mean, this is for the people that are in America, but the same thing applies to where you are. Your uh, geographical locations and how that would be run, instead of like, Raleigh, North Carolina doesn't care anything about what's going on in Western North Carolina. So if you can get like Western North Carolina, the mountain region, with northern um, South Carolina, part of Georgia that's mountainous, and Virginia, and that could be a certain area, and maybe then out in Montana and Idaho, and that area could be, so certain regions. I see it more as like doing things regional and having, but it's still united, but not borders in the way that we're having it, like with the United States. I don't know. It's
Well,
not
that
any
makes
easy.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, the
It's not
UK,
easy.
I don't go out much. I don't get involved in UK politics. But this is going to be a Muslim-run country
Oh,
very
I
shortly.
know,
For sure. It really is.
I know, because
Yeah. There's more
King Charles
mosques
is
than anything
King
else
Charles
here.
has bent the knee, and I'm thinking King Arthur's not too happy right
Yeah.
now.
Where is King Arthur? Right. Where is he? Where is the dragons? I don't know.
So do you think King Arthur was in Wales, or do you
Yeah,
think
for me personally, I think it's all in Wales. I've just come back from Wales. So when I go to Bala Lake, that's where the lady resides. That's where Excalibur goes when I send it back. That's where Merlin is. That's how I feel.
what about Avalon and Glastonbury
I know
Tor? What
everybody
is all that?
says, I know
Is that a
everybody says it's
decoy?
there.
Is that
I
a
think it's a
decoy?
decoy. I do. I mean, they did find a grave that had a very large, giant skeleton in of a man and a woman, and they think that's King Arthur. I don't believe it is personally. I don't. For me, I think it's all Wales. And for a long time, I thought maybe it was the Lake District, maybe it was north of here. But actually, I think it's just south of here, in Wales. Because when I feel into Bala Lake, I mean, I'm a druid, so when I feel into Bala Lake and connect into that energy of Arwen, that is Camelot, that is Avalon, that is that kind of energy there. So I'm hoping that they will rise again or whatever. Anyway, so there's a question here, and I was going to ask you another question as well. Jason is saying,
Is this
if
Jason? Rob's Jason?
yeah, missing time 420. Yeah, it's our Jason. So if Missy could go to any moment in time, where's the first stop? Okay, so where all time travelers, where would you go?
I want to go to Camelot. I do. That's where I feel more connected to that than the Christos timeline for me, because I feel like for right now, that's more important. Maybe the second one would be like the Jesus stuff, because I get it's the same type of energetic. I really feel like the Camelot one to do with now is important, because there's so much. I guess I resonate with it more because of my, having German and Norwegian and Scott Irish English, I guess, you know.
So that magical Tuatha De Danann DNA that we used to open portals, that's what they're searching for, basically. That's why they're finding us, because we can operate the ancient tech and they can't. Do you resonate as a dragon?
I have something to do with dragons, whether it's a rider or, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's, yeah,
What color dragon?
what color, iridescent, mostly blue, but like turquoise blue iridescent
Okay, awesome,
with
awesome.
the emerald.
Yeah, so
So
I was
kind of,
definitely getting green dragon for you, yeah.
yeah.
But that could just
But
I
but not the green dragons and red dragons that are
no,
fighting. It's
no,
not that green and red
yeah,
dragon. Yeah.
yeah, no, I totally get that for you.
It has to
Okay,
do with the emerald, has to do with the emerald order, which
yeah,
I'm primarily emerald order. Doesn't mean I don't
yeah.
have the amethyst order. Doesn't mean I don't have, the other ones, which is Orifeme, but I resonate
Yeah,
most with that, like I said, indigo type 1 emerald
yeah.
order.
I'm actually meeting with Phil Barrow after this to get some healing, and he's all Emerald Order dragons, and he's given me two dragons in the past year. One is like a battle dragon, and one's a healing dragon. So I do have Emerald Order dragons around me. Plus, I resonate as a golden dragon from the void, so there's an aspect of me that's a
Oh,
golden
well.
dragon. Yeah. So Stargate SG-1. When you watch that, how does that feel?
I haven't seen that in so long that
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that one. But Star Trek, I feel
Yes.
like the holodeck is like the way that it is, that we were not supposed to drop this body, that we were supposed to be beamed out of here, that death
Yeah.
is the distortion, and that the way this happens here is
Mm.
wrong. The way we're taking out all of it is because we're meant to be, you know, eternal beings, and then we became immortal, but we're not supposed to die the way we do. We're not.
Yeah. Is there a particular iteration of Star Trek that you resonate with out of the different series?
I still like the old one, the camping one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like different ones of them represent different factions, I think. And it's like Deep Space Nine is a bit darker, and it can
And I
actually there's a
haven't
mirror.
watched any of it lately anyway,
No.
because I got more into the comic things, and probably don't even want to watch too much stuff anyway, because I
Okay.
think it can re-implant you. But I
Mm.
resonate with the Black Widow, because that shows
Okay.
the
That
programs.
is an actual program, the Black Widow program. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting. So that's like super spy, assassin programming.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
awesome.
feel that. Yeah, but then the flight too. Who's the one that flies around that hovers? You know,
Is
that's
it the
got the
one,
thing on their feet.
the Scarlet Witch, or
Not her. It's a guy that's got
like
the
Iron Man?
wings and the wings and the you
Oh,
know. Well, Iron Man makes the
like
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
who is it, guys? Is it the? It's not the Falcon. Is it the Falcon?
Maybe it is. I don't. I can't remember.
Okay,
I can't. But
okay,
it's that whole thing of the flight. You know, the
yeah.
whole being
So,
in flight.
have you watched any TV shows or anything that you think that's totally based on my life? Have you seen anything? And you think, are they talking about me? That's like something that's happened to me. Have you had
No,
anything
I know
like
you
that?
said. I know you said the black orphan black is that way for you. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember.
There's a few actually. There's
I
quite a
don't know.
few.
I don't know if it's talking about me, but I always loved Charmed. I mean, I can't
Oh yeah,
say
I love Charmed.
specifically. I'd have to watch them again. I can't remember
Okay, okay.
exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
for me, there's a few TV shows and games that are based on my archetype. So when you're watching certain things and you're just sitting there thinking, this is really weird, this is deja vu, but then you find out later it is based on you. Okay,
But
cool.
Vikings, I always felt like there was an aspect of me within the whole Laga, you know, the Shield
Yeah.
Maiden. I felt like that activated part of my Shield Maiden stuff
Ah,
coming in.
okay. So Valkyrie is an actual role in the secret space program. It's an actual job.
Okay.
So
You know what?
I,
There was a movie about Valkyries too, wasn't there? Isn't there a
yeah,
Marvel thing about the Valkyries?
yeah. So Thor, and his, yeah, so I thought, because I resonate as a Valkyrie as well, and I've got a memory of kind of flying down off a horse and releasing souls from people's bodies, and then you read the books by John Whitberg, The Man with the Periwinkle Eyes, and it talks about the Valkyrie role in those programs, and it's people that basically go and they like chop people's heads off and take their stack out the back of their neck to regenerate that person back on a
Oh
base
wow.
somewhere or whatever. So that is an actual
Ooh.
role as a Valkyrie. That's a
Mm.
type of soldier, is a Valkyrie. And Susan Long even spoke about it when we did a show together with David Purcell, where she lost all her team, so she basically just chopped off their feet or something and stuck them in a bag and took them back so she could regenerate her team, something like that.
Oh.
So
Oh
a Valkyrie is
wow.
somebody who retrieves the DNA or the soul bite and takes that back so that they can be reanimated. That's a Valkyrie. That made
Wow.
me so
Okay.
sad when I heard that.
It is sad. It
It is very
is.
sad.
Wow.
Good in a way, but very, very sad. Okay, if anyone's got any more questions, please pop them in the chat
So
for Missy.
what do you think about the whole Valhalla program? Like if you die
Yeah.
in battle, it's more honorable. You know,
Yeah, I mean, that
I think
basically
that's
is it.
definitely a program. It's definitely a
Yeah,
program.
that's what with the Valkyrie, that is kind of the Valhalla. So, when you say talk about people being Valhalla'd, that's what it means, that they were died and then the pieces were taken back to regenerate. I resonate as the Norse goddess Hela, so ruler of Helheim. So, I mean, we would recover people who didn't die in battle and we would give them a home in Helheim. So she may look really like gnarly because she's dead on one half of her face, but the loving energy that Hel gives off is beautiful, right? It really is. So not everybody died in battle. Some of people were just regular people and they needed a place to go. Not everybody went to the halls of Valhalla, or went to Freya or whatever. We were the underworld. Yeah, James is
Right.
saying Penny Bradley also talks about it, Valhalla and Valkyrie. Yeah. So I
I
don't
think
know.
there's a siren energy too. Like I've picked this up
Yes.
where
There's.
one time I disclosed this on Rob's
Mm,
show, I think recently, where my husband and his son and his daughter's boyfriend were on Singer Island, which there's an inlet there, and they saw this woman. And this is like what I do in my dreams, where she wasn't touching the ground and she was wearing white. It was like dancing above the sand and wasn't touching the ground.
so was she singing? Was she using her vocals?
I don't know. I don't know if she was singing
That's
or not,
spooky.
but she tried to like pick them up, all of them, like flirt with all of them at
Wow.
once, you
She's
know. And
just.
I've
Yeah.
felt that energy, like at times trying to, come in for attack, like that
Yeah.
siren is succubus type of energy
Mm.
come into the,
Yeah,
yeah.
siren is a real ability. It really is. To change people's frequency with your voice. That is
But
a
I've
real
also
ability.
heard that not all sirens were bad, that if you work with the
No,
good ones, they could stop the storms. I
yes.
was
So
actually called to work with them
I'm a
when
tow
the
medic.
hurricane was when I was with the hurricane stuff. I heard call on the sirens to work
Yeah,
on that storm that was in Gulf
yeah,
of America, Milton. After Helene, I think we started taking everything seriously, and even with Melissa. There was one called Melissa that hit Jamaica.
mm,
I had to stay out of that because it wasn't on my turf. They told me don't have anything to do with this one, but keep it away from the whole East Coast.
yeah.
Don't let it hit the Atlantic seaboard.
Yeah. So Jason is saying the lady in white is a known thing. But yeah, I also have an ability which you could potentially call siren, but we call it command syntax, or I call it voice medic. So like the sound of my voice is activating, but it could also be used nefariously if it was programmed to stop a war or something like that. But yeah, that is an element of that is siren ability, which the mermaids used to do, didn't they? Potentially. Okay,
What do
cool.
what do they think of this war in the chat? I mean, I
Yeah,
feel that, people are saying, well, it needs to happen and it's a holy war, Stargate war. I don't think having more violence to stop violence, I mean, at least from this perspective here, is correct.
mm. I'll pop the question in the chat. Let's see if we get any responses on that one. And we do have 13 people watching right now.
Yeah.
So let's see. I just try and stay out of things, to be honest. I try and stay as
I'm
neutral as I
staying out of
can.
it too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to stay neutral,
Oh, that's good
but
workers.
it hurts my heart when
Yeah.
innocent, you know.
Yeah.
I
As
know
grid
it's a
workers,
bigger
we'll
thing.
go and we'll heal the land, but it's hard. Yeah. So yeah, let us know in the chat if you've got any points of view. Interesting points of view. Oh, there's a thumbs down from Jason Missing Time 420. We've got a thumbs down.
A
So
thumbs
yeah,
down about what?
about the war. About the war. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. It's just
Yeah,
sad.
it's awful. Do you believe it's about the 33rd parallel, the stargates, that kind of thing, ancient technology?
Well,
Or
I
what do you
believe
think?
it's about, it can be all that stuff. Yeah, it could be all of it, but I still don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
like what it does on the 3D plane. Isn't there a way to move through all the stuff more graciously than play
Mm.
out an ancient script? Because I feel it's an ancient Armageddon script, and I don't want to
Yeah.
be
So
activating that timeline. 9/11 Armageddon software. I don't want to
yeah.
have anything to do with it.
James is saying it's almost like two timelines are clashing.
Yes,
And yeah, Tiffany Marie saying it's stupid and unnecessary. And
yes.
oh, her daughter's fiance just got deployed to Iran. That's really sad.
Oh, mm.
Kat is saying it's a definite nope. Yeah, definitely not good. So nobody wants it. They do these things. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
I'd rather see the world leaders get in a ring and just beat the shit out of each other. Is what I'd
that's
rather
off.
see it.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. No, that's mad. So how are you feeling about your kind of SSP potential memories now? How do you feel about that?
I'm feeling better about it. Like I said, there's more to share to do with the family, but I thought this was enough for today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's I mean it's a trauma healing journey, so it's a long process. Once you start to open
Oh,
these
I
things
know.
up, then you've got to deal with what happens afterwards. Because I mean, I always knew I had somebody missing from my life, but I didn't realize I'd ever find that person. And then when I did, we both had to go on this trauma journey then of like, wow, I've reconnected to that person now. And when we met in December, our fields recalibrated, so we're both a lot calmer and everything. But it's still like you've got to kind of process, well, I've been taken away from this person who I'm meant to be like working together with. So it's just bizarre. It just blows your brain. So then you go through a period of like, well, how could this happen to me? Why did nobody see it happening to me? So you go through like a grief. There's a huge grief that you go through.
I processed a lot of that stuff even before I
Yeah,
came forth to share this because I've been looking at this stuff. I realized that I had the MK Ultra programming. At first,
yeah,
I thought I didn't. I said I don't think I'm MK Ultra programmed because I understand religion and I understand the
yeah,
government, but I didn't understand how the Hollywood mind control
Yeah.
You know, and how Disney programs and stuff like that, you know, all this stuff. It's like
Yeah. See, for me, it
Disney.
was the Bambi movie, and not many people talk
Oh,
about
Bambi's.
Bambi.
Oh, that's so
Talk about
horrible.
something else, but something happened to me watching the Bambi movie. Have you ever experienced V2K, like voice to skull? Have you ever noticed that?
I mean, I hear things that could may or may not be me, but I know of a person that definitely knew it was that, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think it's that. But
Okay.
I've had the black helicopters and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I know one time my cat Soda, when the black helicopters flew over our house in Fletcher, I was blow drying my hair with an old blow dryer and it knocked the circuit out and my cat jumped 6 feet off the ground.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of her downfall. She wasn't the same after that.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
What our cats go through, what our animals go through with this stuff.
Yes.
It's very
So
difficult.
my cat got targeted last January. My cat got targeted. So he was
Oh,
intercepting, I think. He was intercepting what was coming at me. And he went from being this big, massive black cat to this frail little thing. And I started to
oh,
do eggshell cleanses on him. And you could see faces oh, it was awful.
oh.
And so yeah, there was a lot of, and I know Miles from Bases, he gets a lot of targeting as well, you know, through he had cats coming in and stuff. Is it black helicopter?
You know what? I hear the stuff flying above me. I'm between two military bases. There's a Marine base. Oh, you want to hear about UFO stuff? There's a
Yeah.
Marine base to the south of me, and there is the Air Force base that's part of uh, the airport in Charleston. So after January 6th, the first time around, whenever that was, I remember at night and during the lockdown, I happened to be at the pool, which I think I'm going to go in a little bit, coming back at night, and I'm driving down the road and I see two triangle craft just hovering very low with their lights on and they're not making a sound. And I stop in the middle of the road with my tongue hanging out, like, oh, I know this is military. This is, you know, this is nothing otherworldly or whatever. And I didn't even think try to take a picture. I mean, sometimes when this stuff's happening, I just, you know, you don't think of anything. And then all of a sudden they must have known they were being watched or something. The lights go off and they're gone. You don't even hear them.
So James is saying, do you hear high frequencies in your ears, both your ears or all the time? I get a lot of tinnitus and frequencies.
I hear humming more than I don't know if it's high or low, but it's a humming and sometimes it's irritating, especially in the left ear because this is where I have more of the problems and I think it's connected to the left eye and the fluid and it going here and you know all this stuff.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, this has been good. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been really, really good. And I hope it's not been too traumatic for you.
Oh no! I have a UFO experience in Linville Gorge with Joshua and Katrina. There's
Oh,
actually
yes.
still footage of that was used by William Shatner's Weird or What, and I know Joshua
Wow.
P. Warren. Yeah, it's about the Brown Mountain Lights, and I was in a movie about the Brown Mountain Lights too. So the UFO was like a rainbow. We didn't even have the night vision. You know, Ron's messing with the night vision because his hands are cold because this is in November. And Katrina and I see it and she's like, oh, look at that. And it's like rainbow. So this was in 2009. And I know that changed I don't know, I think got my arm in some ice cream. Some kid ate some ice cream at this table that I was at. It changed my mind about UFOs, about what they are, because not all UFOs are nuts and bolts. And I knew this was plasma because I saw the rainbow lights because I saw it actually dissolve into the mountain. It just dissolved into it. And this is an area that is known for like these ball lightning type of orbs. So you can just look up Brown Mountain Lights and what are they? You know what? And I think it's the mountain actually makes these. You know, it's like a capacitor where there's a cave system and you have the Linville Gorge, the water running through there, and it's like this, and then it's got a discharge somewhere where it discharges as these balls. One time I took a group up there, there's a group of women up there, and one woman said oh my God, God, spirit, give me a sign. And right when she said this ball of light went through the air, and also Haley's Comet or something was going through there at the same time. But the fact that she said it and it was like instant manifestation of this ball of light, that was pretty cool.
That's so cool. Do you think you're going to put some videos on your channel? Because I've put your channel in the
I, I,
chat.
how do I don't know how to do it. I'm
Oh, I can
awful
help
with
you.
this.
I've got like
I'm
500
just,
videos on my channel now.
I'm
I've gone
just
up on one.
awful with how to do this stuff. It's
Yeah,
like,
I can help you with that. Yeah.
I mean,
And
because I
I
think
mean, I've
if
known
it's too
Rob.
long,
Rob's
yeah,
amazing at all this stuff, isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, I've had to try and figure it out. But yeah, if you've got videos, we can definitely get them on there. Because you've got 48 followers right now. It'd be great to get you over 100. You've only got
Yeah,
40
because you
people.
know what? Because I had a whole thing of, I mean, some of those are on, um, on YouTube, like when I and did the Og to Les, but it's too
Yeah,
bad. Like Peter Moon, I lost that. He's retired now, and he
yeah.
doesn't want to do any interviews. You know who he was? Transylvania Sunrise and Moonrise, all
Mm,
connected with the Tim Beckley group. I know Tim Schwartz is connected with that group, and he's been on Rob's channel. You
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean, even just putting on a playlist, linking all your other videos into the playlist, that would be great because you've not done that for a while. You've only got 3 videos. You've been on Rob's channel like so many times. We could definitely link that up. Because I've got a lot of playlists on mine because I've got so many videos. So I've started to put playlists in for the different super soldiers and stuff. James is saying, have you ever gotten sleep paralysis?
Yes. Yeah. And
Yeah.
wake up where your legs feel numb and different things, or the Charlie horses, where you just can't move at times.
Mm.
Not as
Any
bad. Not as bad though. I'll tell you. I think what I eat has had something to do with that because I'm plant based mostly. I mean, I don't eat any meat, and I try to get a lot of like plant based protein with shakes and things like that, and work out. And I think something about that has helped to reset my hormones, and I'm doing better where I don't have as much pain and all that stuff as I used to. And I go to Planet Fitness that has these massage chairs and bed with water that massages you and try to get body work. Like I got acupuncture last week, you know.
Yeah.
And
Have you?
I did some sound healing in the middle of the night. I just was getting
Yeah.
my bowl out, my Tibetan bowl, and just banging and doing
Yeah.
it all over me and all over the house.
Yeah. Did you ever notice any marks on your body or anything like that? Or any bruises? I get a lot of bruises. Oh my gosh.
I've had bruises, yeah, for no reason, yeah.
Yeah. That's mad. That's mad. Okay. Let's see. So James is saying he's also felt like he was being electrocuted. I've not felt like electrocuted, but I get a lot of vibration. I vibrate out trauma for sure. I figured that out now. It did scare me for a while, but I
Okay,
figured that
that won't
out.
scare me so much because I think, what are they trying to do to me, when
Yeah. 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 Is there anything that you do to protect your energy?
I run the colors through my body and stuff, like the pink fire, blue ice, the aurora borealis colors, different,
Hmm.
you call them flames, but the different
Yeah.
colors, and I like the
Okay.
iridescent type of colors, but with
Yeah.
with like the aurora borealis. I don't know, to me they're beings, and they tell me to photograph them. They'll say, even
Wow.
here in South Carolina, like, go out and you can get pictures. I mean, I can't always see them with my I don't really see it with my naked eye. I see like a tinge in the atmosphere, and I see it with my third eye, but the digital camera, it's able to pick it up. It's so interesting. And sometimes it'll be these dark blue and dark
Mm.
purples, and then I'll just look at those colors, and whatever color shows up, then I say, okay, my body needs that. Let me run that frequency through my body.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So yeah, anything that you wanted to mention before we finish?
Well,
Uh,
I'm going to be going to Western North Carolina next week, and I'll be there for about a month. I have to stay with my father, and I'm going to do some fun things while I'm there. I'm staying with a friend, and then I'm going to be, pet sitting and things like that. And then I come back to South Carolina probably for another month, and then I'll go back to North Carolina for the duration, probably in June. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing as far as any events. I don't have anything planned. anybody asks me to come, maybe I will.
So like a
I don't know.
conference, because there's a
Yeah.
conference in May. There's Rise of the
Yeah,
Guardians.
yeah. I'm not doing that. I mean, I don't feel that I'm, if I was called to work or something, I used to do these cruises. I've done them. I did one with Laura Eisenhower. I used to actually do my night vision, third generation night vision, goggle tours on the cruise. I've done that. And, I'm still have these grid assignments in Western North Carolina. I haven't put together. I called it the, Conspiracy Vortex Tour, which is in the Pisgah Forest of Western North Carolina. I talked about some of those places on Rob's show recently. I know that last show I did, the connection was just horrible. It was just like, they were
He
definitely
gets a lot of
targeting my voice.
targeting. He gets so
They
much
were
targeting.
targeting my voice and the technology, and it actually sounded like a robotic thing. I
Yeah.
know I had no coverage, but it was like, it sounded robotic. There was something more going on besides just the tech. I'm like, why
Yeah.
do I sound like this mechanical robot? So that was interesting.
I think
So I
that's a
want to do
Rob
that.
thing. Yeah.
And then Charleston, South Carolina, that never happened. I'm still open to any of these places that, if people want to get together or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you remember a couple of years ago you did a session with Indigo Angel and it got recorded and put on her
Yes.
channel? That's when I first discovered you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that was a
remember
great
watching that.
session.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
watching that. I can't remember what happened in it now because it's so long ago, but that's when you first came
Well,
into
I
my
think
awareness.
that was bringing forth these pieces to do with South Carolina. What's going on here with the fact that the Civil War shots were fired here, and that's big, in Charleston at Fort Sumter.
Okay, awesome. Let everybody know how they can find you. This has been so good. Thank you. I
Oh,
really
this has
appreciate
been
it.
fun. I've really enjoyed this. I mean, you're easy going. It's just easy to
I
talk to you,
try.
and I knew it would.
My
I knew
guys
it
are so
would be.
cool. Yeah, my guys are really cool in the chat and they support me, yeah, a lot. So
I just knew it would be easy and fun and sort of like an icebreaker for my coming out
yeah.
SSP stuff,
I wasn't gonna
um,
put Missy's coming out party because I thought, oh, that might that might
I
get
know.
some odd attention. So yeah, if people, do you do any kind of private sessions with anybody? Do you
Yeah,
do healing? What do you do? Yeah.
yeah, I do. Like I said, I have the quantum infinity. I do readings. I call them 12 tree grid readings, where I'm doing like multidimensional, looking at their light body structure with tarot cards. And I do excuse me, that was a burp this time. I'm not an astrologer, but I do pull charts to get a little bit of what's going on, which is like emotional, psychological, like just the key things like where their moon is, where their north node is, where their rising is, stuff like that. So I can get an idea and research that and tie that in with the multidimensional card reading and whatever I get. So I kind of do that, and I'll use crystals. I've made flower essences for people and oils and salt scrubs. So, I do a lot of different things and sound healings, all different kinds of things. But
I love the
I don't,
sound of the card readings. They sound so good. Yeah, I
I,
definitely need
I
that at some
don't,
point.
I don't put myself out there because I figure if people want anything, they'll find me. And I love to do sessions for animals. So I've done a lot of cats, people, and it's interesting because the stuff that goes on with people's cats, a lot of times it's not really going on with the cats, it's going on with their owners. So their owners are having, or their dogs, their owners are having the session, or, whoever is connected to the animal. So I do that, and my email is Hill, HILL, Night, NITE, Vision, VISION, at gmail.com. HillNiteVision at gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I don't do anything on X. And I'm on YouTube as Galactic Earth Fusion, which was my old show name, but I don't do anything with it because my Galactic Earth Fusion was actually on Blog Talk Radio.
Ah, it'd be great to get some videos and some more information on your channel. So we'll have a chat about that at some point. See if we can kickstart your channel. You've got 50 subscribers right now. You just got
And I
55.
also need help with this book because I tried to do it. AI's lost it. I've got it saved in different places, and I don't know if it's a ghostwriter. I just need somebody to help me organize and get this stuff out, because what the book is about, it's about Soda as a grid working cat who's passed, and now Arthur is able to remote view and connect with Soda's past timelines, where he's able to look and see what she did. So it goes back and forth between Arthur and Soda, and it has real people in it, real life. You can be a book character too, where anybody that's a public figure will be in that book, you know, like George Norrie, Art Bell, and everything to do with Coast to Coast and all that stuff. That's got a lot of stuff, including Art Bell's Alien that's in that book, because Soda went to go view us one time when we were hanging out with Carvel, which is Art Bell's Alien.
Yeah. Jason's saying that sounds really cool. And he wonders what you get from his cat, Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty's really old. I think he's got dementia, and he's working overtime trying to heal Jason.
Oh, Mr.
Sorry,
Kitty
Jason.
sounds wonderful. Oh my God, I want to hug Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Kitty's generally watching, because he usually takes over like the chair or something. That's so cool.
So
okay,
great.
So please follow Missy on her YouTube and see if we can kickstart that very, very soon. And I'll put all your links in the chat afterwards. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I'm going to end the live stream, but we've still got a couple of seconds.